It's Thursday, July 10th.
Is this price that you've provided us a month ago, is that still stand? And I said, I do not know. I do not know at this point.
Canadian copper producers can expect to feel the sting of a 50% tariff, which U.S. President Trump says will take effect August 1st.
We're going to still go through the fine print and take a look at what are the tangible steps we can actually implement.
Safety recommendations. BC releases a report on preventing future tragedies after 11 people were killed in an attack on the Lapu-Lapu festival in Vancouver just months ago.
We believe several may have witnessed or recorded the incident on their cell phones.
Investigation ongoing. Police are searching for suspects after 3 teenagers are stabbed in what officials call a targeted attack at the Calgary Stampede.
It seems like a sunk cost fallacy at this point.
Going in circles, the city of Toronto keeps fixing its Parkside speed camera and it keeps getting cut down. Stay with us, Canada. Your morning starts right now. Good morning, Canada. Welcome to Your Morning. I'm Anne-Marie Mediwake.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Lindsey Deluce.
I'm Kelsey McEwen. Happy Thursday.
Just so we have it on the record, that's not you, is it?
No, it is not
Cutting
me.
down the camera?
It is
Okay,
not,
just checking.
on the record, it is not me, but I do
understand the frustration.
Understand the frustration, and we'll give you all the details coming up in just a moment. First, let's talk copper. U.S. President Donald Trump says a 50% copper tariff will come into effect on August the 1st. Of course, that has Canadian producers pretty worried about what happens next.
We're worried that our finished product being shipped over will be tariffed, hence cutting us out of the market compared to companies in Michigan or the U.S.
In a social media post, President Donald Trump cited national security as the reason behind this tariff. The U.S. imports almost half of the copper it uses. So to put this in context, in 2023, more than half of Canada's copper exports went to the U.S. China and Japan were the next 2 largest markets for us. Industry Minister Melanie Joly says Canada remains focused on getting a trade deal done with the U.S. by that deadline of July 21st.
My job right now is to make sure that in the context of this trade war, I'm supporting the front lines of this trade war, which are the workers.
Minister Joly also says Ottawa has yet to see an executive order on the proposed copper tariff. BC has released new safety recommendations in the wake of the deadly attack at the Lapu-Lapu festival in Vancouver 2 months ago.
And we accept the intent of the recommendations. And we're working through them to determine how best we can implement them with our partners. This is about keeping people safe.
There were 6 recommendations, and that includes a risk management assessment being carried out at all events in BC, establishing a centralized hub to support event safety. And the province, they say, needs to consider expanding financial support for security costs. 11 people were killed in the car ramming attack at the festival. That was April 26th. The suspect, Kaiji Adam Low, is facing 8 second-degree murder charges. He's now waiting on a hearing later this month to decide whether he's mentally fit to stand trial. Police are looking for witnesses after 3 people were stabbed in a targeted attack at the Calgary Stampede.
We believe the individuals involved in the altercation were known to each other. The victims are all related or known to each other, and they also knew the assailants.
This happened late Tuesday night. The teenagers are in serious but stable condition. No arrests have been made yet. Police are still looking for the suspects. They believe as many as 10 people may have been involved in this. This is where it happened. We are looking at, by the way, the bottom of this slide. Officers are trying to find a motive and whether the weapon used was brought into the Stampede. Security at the Calgary Stampede, it is high. Visitors have to go through metal detectors. Their bags are searched. Security levels at the Stampede remain the same for now. A 17-year-old has now been charged in the case of an 8-year-old girl found critically injured in the Ottawa Valley 2 weeks ago. Charges of attempted murder and sexual assault have been laid against the male teen. On June 24th, the young girl was reported missing. Then she was found with serious injuries. She was found in Quadville. At the time, police thought she may have been hurt in an animal attack, Investigators have since ruled that out. The young girl is in hospital as this investigation continues. One of the two pilots killed in a mid-air crash in Manitoba has now been publicly identified. In a post online, the Consulate General of India in Toronto says Srihari Sukesh was one of the victims. The fatal crash happened Tuesday at a flight training school. The two pilots of both planes were pronounced dead at the scene. The owner of the flight training school says they were performing routine takeoffs and landings at the time. The TSB is now investigating. Quebec says it won't be accepting new family reunification applications until next year. The province's immigration department says it reached its cap. That's what they're saying for sponsorship for spouses, common law partners, and adult children until 2026. But they will still accept applications for other classes of family members like children younger than 18. The current processing time for these family members, it's about 37 months. Families will now have to wait until June 25th, 2026 to apply. The number of asylum seekers entering Canada through one Quebec crossing has almost doubled this year. According to Canada Border Services, there have been about 8,400 asylum applications at Lapu-Lapu boarding crossing in the first half of 2025. That is up from roughly 4,600 applications during the same period last year. Overall, asylum claims in Quebec and Canada-wide, however, are down so far this year. One of Toronto's busiest speed cameras has been knocked down for a sixth time, 1 week after it came back online.
1 in the morning, maybe a bit after, they had the lane blocked off with like official trucks, and I saw guys in the vests there.
Interesting. The mystery continues. So a person who lives on the street, across the street, says he saw two people who look like city workers approaching the Parkside speed camera. He said, when we woke up, it was gone. The camera was reinstalled last week, along with a surveillance camera. Toronto police now say that security footage will obviously be part of the investigation. The Parkside speed camera has generated more than $7 million in fines since it was first installed in 2022. The RCMP in Alberta say it's not planning to investigate a fight that happened on a golf course involving a former NHL player. The former NHL player is Nick Chernaski.
Hey, man. Come on, man. Hey.
Man. This happened at a course just outside Red Deer. Chernaski played 245 games in the NHL, recording almost 300 penalty minutes. That's aside. Although the RCMP has closed this investigation. This is so wild. Chernaski could still face consequences. He's a coach with Red Deer Minor Hockey. An internal investigation has been opened. Okay, all good things must come to an end.
1-2. Line to center field. Robert Jr. is there, and that's ball game.
It's too bad the Jays' win streak ended at 10 after a 2-1 loss to the White Sox yesterday. The 10-game win streak tied their second longest ever. If the Jays had won yesterday, they would have been looking to set a new record against the A's tomorrow night. The upcoming weekend series is their final one before next week's All-Star break.